Hi, Claire here, CEO of Know Your Team, where we give you the training and tools, really everything you need to be the best manager possible. And today I'm back with another manager tip on something that I think many of us as leaders are facing this season, which is performance reviews. And I want to talk specifically about the two things that I think most leaders actually overlook when we're delivering performance reviews. And whether or not you're actually doing formal performance reviews in your organization, maybe you call them by another name, annual review, something else, but whatever it might be, it's likely that you're doing at least some kind of one-on-one check-in or conversation around performance with your team members. So hopefully this is still relevant to you. So excited to share these two tips. Now, before I do, I will say that if you have been enjoying our Know Your Team manager tips and you're looking for more resources, whether it's around feedback, performance reviews, coaching, whatever it is, do be sure to subscribe here to Know Your Team on our YouTube channel or online at knowyourteam.com. I just want to make sure that you continue to get all our fantastic resources. So with that, let's dive in. So the two things that most leaders actually overlook when it comes to delivering performance reviews well is, first and foremost, is that we forget to talk about actually why they matter. Now, sometimes, I think for us as leaders, it can be hard to talk about why performance reviews matters because we lose sight of why they're important in the first place. I know I do. We here at Know Your Team actually don't do formal performance reviews. We actually have a pretty unique performance management process, which you can learn about at our Know Your Team Guide to Performance Management. But really, regardless, again, of whatever you want to call these conversations around performance, we have to remember that the purpose is really to create space to enable this direct report, this person, to do their best work. It's space to really improve and help the person improve. That's the goal. And so when we go into the conversation, instead of leading with, all right, I know this is our performance review conversation, here are the things that I want to talk through. Instead of saying that, come in and say, hey, I want to level with you and know that these performance review conversations can sometimes feel anxiety-inducing and tough, but I want to just really level set on the real purpose, which is that it's really about enabling both of us to improve, and really for me as a leader to help support you to do your best work. I just want to make really clear what the purpose of this conversation is. So making it extraordinarily clear that that's what success is from this performance review conversation, actually having space to talk about what things can be better, is really where you want to start. Then the second thing that you're going to want to do when it comes to performance reviews, and the thing I think many of us as leaders, unfortunately, don't really enjoy doing, and I don't blame you, which is talking about the hard stuff. So the things that the person does need to improve. It's always, I think, a bit hand-wringing to be thinking about, oh, I have to tell this person that they're not as organized as they should be, that they could be more strategic. And in an ideal world, these are things that you're hopefully communicating more regularly throughout the year, but you may be a little apprehensive in sharing this, or perhaps wondering that it's going to come off as a surprise to the other person. And so while you're feeling this trepidation in terms of talking about how this person can improve, there's actually a really helpful framework for thinking about how to talk about this. And that's actually first to really level with the fact that all of us as humans can improve. And so there's really no judgment or value assessment that's being made here, that it's really just being about improving. The second thing then you're going to want to do is to be as direct as possible about the exact observable behaviors that you would like to see different for this person. It really doesn't help the other person to sugarcoat it, to say, oh, well, it would be nice if, this could change, but actually being really descriptive and specific about the observable behaviors, what you'd like to see different, and then the impact that that actually has. So let me give you an example of how to do this. So perhaps you would start off by saying, I want to talk about areas of improvement, and to be clear, all of us have areas and things that we can all improve. So given that, specifically, there's one thing that I noticed in particular that I think would be an area to improve. It is, and again, you could fill in the blank here, I noticed that, and then talk about the observable behaviors. So those are the main ways in which you're going to want to talk about really trying to improve. And then the last thing there to end would be to ask the person, hey, well, what do you think? Right? Because you don't want this just to be a one-way conversation. A performance review is not just handing someone a decree of what is, but it's really trying to involve the other person so they feel like they have a stake, so they can actually do something better. Because again, that's the whole purpose of a performance review. It's to really enable space for this person to actually know what they can be doing better and to have a conversation about that. So if you can focus on those two pieces, making it super clear what the real purpose is, that often gets lost amidst all the noise with performance reviews, and then making sure that when you're talking about the things to improve, that you make it clear that everyone can improve and that you're very direct about the observable behaviors for the things they can change, and then asking a question to really involve them in that process. And when you do these things, it really helps to create a foundation for your performance review to feel less cringy, less burdensome, and hopefully give you the outcomes that you're truly looking for. If you found this tip helpful, we actually do have, I alluded to it earlier, a guide on rethinking performance reviews that's been massively helpful to a lot of other managers. We also have training around delivering feedback and coaching that comes super in handy that you can check out at knowyourteam.com. And regardless, I do hope that you join me next time, you subscribe, and look forward to having you on our manager tips next time around. Thanks so much.